Hi, folks. We are GrownAGeeks, and today we have a special show. We're going to be doing trailer talk. We had some new trailers that just dropped, and we're going to have some conversations. We'll be talking about the Ironheart trailer. We'll be talking about Peacemaker Season 2. And, of course, we'll be talking about that Superman trailer. Join us as we have trailer talk here with GrownAGeeks. And we're back. Thank you for joining us. Hey, we are GrownAGeeks, and today we're going to be talking about a couple of new trailers that have just dropped. We've got the Ironheart trailer, the new premiere, executive produced by Ryan Coogler. The story of Riri Williams as she has her little journey in being the new armored vigilante Ironheart. And we'll see how that story goes and who she has to face off against. We have Season 2 of Peacemaker. Multiverse-ish, but let's see what happens. We'll see how this fits into the new DC universe. But the big one, and we're going to save this one for the end, we have the full Superman trailer, and we will be talking about the highs, the lows, the good things, and some things that might have been revealed in this trailer. I'm Elder Geek Sam, and joining me tonight, we have the marvelous Miss Kennedy, a hero ain't nothing but a movie, RG Cashmere, insert cool nickname, Miss Brandy, and of course, my man, Jeffrey JPNT17. How's everybody doing tonight? Everybody doing
Great.
Good? Wonderful.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Beautiful
day in the neighborhood.
Great. So let's we kind of discussed earlier which ones we were going to talk about, and let's kick off with Peacemaker. Some people aren't going to be watching Peacemaker. Is that correct? Was that I understood that we have some people not really interested in Peacemaker. Anything in particular? Just is there a reason it turned you off, or
I don't deal well with foolishness.
Okay. Hey, John Cena is.
I did try to watch Peacemaker.
Yeah,
Because I love superhero stuff. So if it's deep Marvel,
it is
I will
all
give anything
foolishness.
a try.
Yes.
But that is foolishness, so I'm not interested.
Yeah, it is foolishness. I will say, and yeah, okay, fair enough.
Good adjective. Good adjective.
You know what? We'll leave it there. Brandy, no Peacemaker for you as well.
Didn't care for his character that much in
Suicide
what's
Squad?
the chick? Yes, I
Yeah.
don't. I liked him playing off of Idris Elba, but like as a character by himself, there was not. I just was like, I get it. I get the character. I don't need a show full of that.
Yeah, I think the first season, and I made it through the first season. There were some highlights. There were some good points. Overall, it was enjoyable. It wasn't like the highlight of what they were doing at the time. And I think John Cena's Peacemaker character was kind of a standout character. Could the Idris Elba character, what was it, Bloodsport? Maybe he should have gotten a spinoff, and it might have been, maybe the two of them together could have kept that banter back and forth. I don't know. Peacemaker kind of worked for me. I enjoyed it. Season 2, I will continue to check it out because it does seem like it is going to be canonically added to the DCU, and they have a lot of the returning characters. They've already made some mention of things in Creature Commandos to indicate that this is a part of it. So, I'm curious how it's all going to work together. And, I will say James Gunn is kind of known for his character building. And if you can get through some of the foolishness, there are some actual interesting characters in the show. So, vigilante, because I'm not going to pretend like there's not some just asinine activity in the show. 100%. That is valid. And you are correct. You are correct. The opening by itself is proof. What the hell are we watching?
See, I didn't even.
And it's literally like if you just skip intro, you know what you're watching. I don't need to see that intro every time. Skip intro. Just show me the show. That's all I need is a show. But, Vigilante's a cool character. Hardwick, she's an interesting character. the daughter. I feel bad, but
Amanda Waller's daughter.
Amanda Waller's daughter.
Oh yeah.
You know, her her and her wife, they were definite interesting characters. And even Diebeard, you know what I'm saying? Like they're interesting characters, and it's an interesting grouping to see the 11th Street Kids. As we get into season 2, the trailer showed us a few things that, of course, have already kind of made me frown my face up and be like, really? And so, Jeff, what were your thoughts on the trailer when you saw it? Peacemaker season 2.
So season 1, I was
okay, good talk.
No. I was reluctantly kind of watched season 1 because we did like a full review of the show on GrownAGeeks in a previous iteration.
Right.
And I liked it more than I thought that I would. So, you know, I literally just watched the trailer right before we started recording. I kind of am like, I'll watch the show. The trailer didn't make me like more excited for the show, but
Agreed.
I'm going to give it a chance because I gave season 1 a chance, and season 1 was a pleasant surprise outside of the like opening intro. I'm curious to see like what they're going to do next. I'm curious to see how and if and why they decided to keep this character and extend into the DCU versus like starting over with a clean slate, because, you know, I'm still like, you know, Peacemaker is not a character that I had even heard of before Suicide Squad. So I'm still just very much like, all right, like John Cena has the cachet, I guess, to like make people feel like we need to keep making this a thing. And hopefully they can continue to put like a good story behind it. I mean, the DC shows have been pretty good, in my opinion, thus far on HBO, between Creature Commandos, between the Harley Quinn cartoon, and then this show, as well as the Penguin. So I don't think they're going to skimp on like quality in terms of acting, guest stars. I mean, Tim Meadows is in the trailer, so I'm interested to see like how he fits into this world. But it will be interesting beyond that to see how it will fit into this larger world of what James Gunn is doing versus like this is part of Zack Snyder's universe that's just like some leftovers of things that we like kind of liked and have contractual obligations to make a season 2 for, because season 1 had a certain level of success. So creatively, because I don't know anything about the character, I have no expectations. And if it's not good, I'll just stop watching it. Like, I have no problems like putting the show down like 3-4 episodes in, like this is not for me. So
I have a lot of shit I haven't finished. So I have no problem with that as well. But I think one of the something that's really good that you mentioned there is you have no expectations, because again, this is a character that wasn't super popular. Nobody saying the name Peacemaker before Suicide Squad. I can't think of one time I heard that in conversation. So anybody that's coming up like, oh yeah, Peacemaker's always been my favorite, stop lying. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Now, if you want to say you enjoy Peacemaker from the movie, I'll rock with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, just keep it a buck. And John Cena is a very interesting actor. Like the choices that he makes or are made for him on screen. This man like he wrestled, so I get that there's a certain amount of showmanship and presentation that comes with everything he does anyway. And maybe that's why he's just so comfortable running around in his drawers all the time. But I don't need him to continue to do that. And every opportunity he gets, he does. It's like, okay, we get it. At some point, like, you know, even when you wrestled, you had on the jean shorts to your knees. So it's weird. It doesn't make sense. But given that there is no expectation because this is an off-brand character, I think it does give the opportunity to, again, pleasantly surprise. And it is still being helmed by James Gunn, who brought the character in from Suicide Squad. There is a story directly tied to that character and other characters that James Gunn has already started working on. And he's done a great job in the past, as we've mentioned many times, with Guardians, making us interested about characters we know nothing about. So there's a very good chance that he can do it again. RG, what are your thoughts here? Peacemaker,
Well,
season 2.
I like the first season of Peacemaker. I did enjoy it. I was there for the foolishness, so it was a little bit enjoyable. I mean, it was offbeat. You know, outside of Sam bringing up the thing with
the wardrobe choices.
There you go. Right. Outside of that portion of things, I do like the character development on the show. I do like the way it actually made me interested in a character who I did not give a fuck about before. Like you said, if you act like Peacemaker was your dude prior to Suicide Squad, you're lying. Because he's barely mentioned in the comic and nobody fucking knows him. So, but for the most part, the show did a really good job. I don't want to necessarily say it fleshing him out as a person or as a character, but it did make him a bit more relatable as to the choices that he made in that universe. Yeah. So I respected it in that it was easy enough to follow. Things kind of made a progression that, you know, it made sense. Somebody, you know, is with his personality, through his background, is probably going to make those type of choices and get into those type of situations. So I did enjoy it. I can't necessarily say I enjoyed it enough to remember anything particularly interesting about it. I just know that, you know, it was a good time. I looked at the trailer and, you know, I think I'm seeing who was the Kyle Rayner? We're getting Kyle Rayner, so we got a little Kyle Rayner spot in there. So I am looking forward to that.
Hawk Girl was in there too.
Yeah, Hawk Girl. You know what I'm saying? I think
that was Guy Gardner. Guy Gardner.
There we go.
Guy Gardner, Hawk Girl, and Sean Gunn is playing Maxwell Lord.
Okay, and that's what's up. You know what I'm saying? I think Frank Grillo is in here.
Who is playing
as Rick Flag Senior. So, and I like Grillo. You know what I'm saying? He definitely can fill that role. He's a good enough actor. So I'm looking forward to it. You know what I'm saying? James Gunn does a really good job at making things very dark, but at the same time justifying the timing and the speed of the solutions that they come up with. So from that aspect, I'm able to watch it. Shit gotta make sense to me. Like if people start doing shit that normal people or people of that character that you've shown me as that character, if they start making choices that they wouldn't normally do, that just for the sake of plot, it takes me out of it. And so they didn't do that the first season. I'm hoping they don't do it the second season. Give me more gunshots, more random dudes falling off buildings. You know, a couple of people spun by a car. I love the dynamic and the friendship between him and what is it? The Orange is the new black girl.
Hardwood.
Amanda Waller's daughter.
Yeah, Amanda Waller's daughter. Yeah, you know, I like their dynamic. I did enjoy how they came to be cool with each other naturally. You know what I'm saying? Like it was very organic. So I'm looking forward to season 2. I'm hoping, you know, it's entertaining. You know, something between blunts.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah. I mean, I saw a few things in the trailer myself that I won't say give me concern. James Gunn seems to be, he's got everything connected in his DCU and some things are going to be canon, but it also feels like you don't have to be on schedule. If some things are connected, they're connected. Having seen, of course, like we're going to discuss, having seen the Superman trailer, and even before seeing this trailer, we already knew that Guy Gardner and Hawk Girl were going to be in the new Superman movie.
Right.
Seeing them in this trailer is one of those things that lets you know this is the same world. Yeah. These people exist at the same time these people exist. And, you know, that connection is there, but it doesn't make you feel like you have to see Peacemaker in order to understand this. If they keep it like that and they allow things to kind of be individual, make some little connections, the connections almost feel like Easter eggs. if they keep doing it like that, people won't feel pressured, and maybe we can just start having fun with DC for a change, because that's been the biggest problem. Shit ain't been fun. It's been work and it's been hard, and we didn't like it. So we kind of like RG said, season 1, it was foolishness, but the shit was funny, and I enjoyed it, and I was here for all of the silliness. And if I get more of that in season 2,
sorry, my
go
bad.
ahead.
I think that season 1's foolishness was fun because we all knew Zack Snyder's DC EU was dead. So anything that happened in Peacemaker, it didn't have like these large ramifications of needing to connect to other stuff and all this stuff like this. I feel like it's pretty obvious that they're trying to treat this character as their universe's Deadpool, even down to the basic ripoff of the beginning of Deadpool and Wolverine, of him trying to join the heroes interview and then being like, "Oh, well, I saved the world and you guys won't let me be one of you." Storyline. Also, the multiverse aspect of it, and him going through that door at the end of the trailer, and I guess this is the is this a bad version of him from another universe? Like, I feel like, again, I don't want universes built on the backs of random characters just because there's popular actors playing them and they've had a successful series. So I'm very interested to see how contained this will be within itself versus how much it's going to be connected to James Gunn's DCU, because it's starting to feel sloppy between what's going on with the Batman and all that stuff, and you not even having the Batman, you not wanting to show the Batman's costume and creature commandos because you didn't want to commit to what the Batman was going to look like. And it's starting to feel like, brother, this Superman movie need to come out, like, because we all over the place, and we need some grounding, and we putting a lot of ingredients in the bowl before we mix it and taste it and see how the flavor is coming out. So
yeah. I mean, that first little sip we got with Creature Commandos tells me he at least knows what he knows there's a recipe.
He can write.
Yeah, I was about to say, he knows there's a recipe. Whether the recipe's a good recipe or not is still left to be determined. So, fingers crossed, we'll see. We'll see what it does.
There you go. Keep hope alive.
But Peacemaker season 2, I'm looking forward to it. I will watch it. I say looking forward to it. I have a certain level of commitment to watching.
Yeah.
I will put it there. I can't say like, "Ooh, I can't wait for that piece." When it comes out, I will
shove your chips on season 1. You got it.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay.
But they earned my business back with season 1.
There you go. So as long as they don't screw up on season 2, they keep me coming back each episode, we'll call that a win for them. Another trailer that recently dropped that we got to see a little bit more, and it's a little bit more interesting. Ironheart. It is crazy how I really appreciate how the internet themselves have gotten behind Ryan Coogler and made it a point to say, hey, don't forget, Ironheart's coming out in June. Nobody's promoting this. Let's promote it on their behalf. And it's like they're doing the work to make sure that, executive producer Ryan Coogler is going to be acknowledged and recognized for this. And so they're trying to put the word out. A lot of influencers, and it's just, I'm seeing it plastered all over social media that a lot of people are they're trying to show up in support of Ironheart. Having said that, who here is interested in looking forward to seeing Ironheart? Exactly. I cannot wait for Ironheart to come out. I think this is going to be a damn fantastic show. And the trailer actually had me a little bit more interested than what we got sometime back when Disney put out their little like future coming thing. We got that little snippet teaser. Now I know what's going on. Now it makes sense. Okay, I see what we're doing here, and I'm interested, and I want to know what I gathered from the trailer. And if anybody gets anything else different, let me know. She couldn't keep the suit that she built in Wakanda. She comes back home and she basically wants to do something like that again, but that probably costs money, and Riri ain't got no money. In comes somebody that she meets or has heard about her, looking for her, the Hood, and he's offering her all of this money to do the things that she wants to do. But who is this guy? What's his background? What's his story? Obviously, he's got some magical powers and shit's happening, and she has a choice to make. Does she give in to her greed and selfishness and do the things she wants to do, which is all for the good of mankind, but at what cost? That's what I got, and that's what I'm looking forward to seeing. And I think that's going to make for a hell of a story. And let's go. Bring it on. We ain't got to wait. Drop it now. I'll start watching tomorrow. That's where I'm at.
Word.
Who else? Who's got feelings and thoughts on Brandy? Ironheart, talk to me.
I think my only concern is the same concern that I had when they introduced her in Wakanda Forever, which is I really wish that they would emphasize the Tony connection, the Tony Stark connection, because I think that people are really turned off at the idea of her just being the new Iron Man without their having an established connection. Because people who don't know who she is don't know her backstory. They don't know. They're coming into the show with fresh eyes, and
because they didn't pick up the comic book and read it.
But most, a lot of people don't. A lot of people are just MCU fans, and like I just feel like I think a lot of people's initial hesitancy about that character was that, like, who is this girl? Oh, she's the new Iron Man. Like, we just got a new Iron Man, and I think if they would emphasize that connection, I think that would be for the best. But that being said, I do want to watch the show. I like her. I like her character. I like Anthony Ramos. I was super excited to see him join the MCU because I've liked him since Hamilton.
Okay. I just realized today that was a dude from Transformers. So I was like,
So I'm like, okay, I see you. Like, I definitely am gonna watch it, but I do understand why some people would have hesitant feelings about reboot.
Okay, and I think that's fair. There might have been a little tease of something that I of course, I watched like a breakdown video on that one because I wanted to get everything out of that trailer. And there's a moment where it looks like there's some sort of like hologram thing, maybe
just a mention. Well, when I worked with Tony Stark and he mentored me, and that's how I got into MIT. Like, it'd
be so easy because the building she's in, one of the labs she goes into at MIT is like building 17, which is like when Tony Stark funded everybody's projects in one of the Iron Man movies, like when he did, or I think that was Age of Ultron at the beginning, when he funded that and like made this big donation to the school, any number of ways that it could have been done. And she came in and just missed out on the grant money, but he knew about her project and came to visit. There's a number of ways they can do it, even like in some retro scenes or something, flashback, retcon it, make it work. But I agree with you. And I think that would be very important to the character because it's a main staple of the character in the comics.
Right.
That makes her who she is. And it's not just, oh, this is the new Iron Man. She is always Ironheart, and she basically gets Tony's blessing to do what she's doing.
I think it would be important to show that. And they can, because it's not like he's not still in the MCU.
Right. Just slide it in as an extra line. I see. Right. So, all right. RG, Ironheart. What you think?
So I can't really remember how I felt when we reviewed her last time. We reviewed the show last time. I don't feel like I was that enthusiastic.
Okay, I'm about to say don't remember. I remember
about Ironheart.
I remember. That's why. That's what we got one good.
Okay. I'm pretty sure.
But you're honest.
I'm pretty sure I was probably
honest.
A little bit on the negative side of seeing the show and looking forward to it. But a really good sign of intelligence is the ability to change your mind after learning new things. So now I'm definitely different about Ironheart. The fact that Captain America movie was good and well written makes me feel good. Jesus Christ. What was the last show right after Captain America?
Brave New World?
Thunderbolts?
Thunderbolts, thank you. Jesus Christ, just watched it. The Thunderbolts was also very good and very well written. That always comes out in the edit.
That. Goodness.
Yeah, you know that. Jesus Christ, man. That shit, I hope that does it on its own. But, the Thunderbolts was very well written. So that's 2 in a row. And there's also just, the last 2 projects were intentional. I feel like they're going to turn around. They're going to make this very intentional. Daredevil was very intentional, right? Even though I might not have been the biggest fan of how it ended, but for the most part, most of the show was still very intentional. Okay. And I'm looking forward to Riri. Also, the reality of the situation is I'm looking forward to Halloween and watching all the black girls run around dressed as Ironheart. Okay. And hopefully she sparks a whole thing about getting into STEM. You know what I'm saying? And does all of that. I feel like there's a lot of influence she could have. She's a good character that could. I want her story told because I'm really tired of listening to people talk about, the diversity thing. Is this safe to get into right now?
Well, I mean, we may dedicate some other time to that, but I can certainly agree with the point of, she has a certain amount of influence as a character, and it's not just a representation character. She is smart as hell, and the character is smart, and she, even in the trailer, she shows just how smart she is. I don't have to play by your rules. I'm smart enough to figure out a better solution than what you've offered me. And being able to think like that, those are the kind of things that you want to see a hero be able to do. So I think as we watch this story and see some of the choices she makes, we get to see how her analytical mind gets her out of some of these situations, and that could be inspiring.
Plus, she's not a stereotypical nerd.
Right.
There you go.
Like, she's cool. Riri's cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, no, it's okay. It's cool to be smart. You can be all of the things.
You can be hip and intelligent.
And she doesn't need to be, we don't need to do a comparison between her and Tony and what she's capable of as Tony. She needs to be smart enough to design ways to solve the situations that she's in. If however she solve the situations, if she has already shown that she's capable of coming up with that solution, she's gonna show she's a good character. Like, it's gonna be, you can't sit up here and nitpick, oh, well, how did she come up with that? And she has all these ex machinas. If you can establish, we've already established she's intelligent.
I got a whole thing of YouTube shorts, Jay Laser and all these other dudes, Hacksmith. They be sitting down doing the math, building all this shit. Why she can't do it? There's people smart enough to do this stuff. So absolutely. Yeah. Teresa, how you feeling about Ironheart?
I'm excited for it. I feel though my excitement is a little bit there's a damper on it, kind of, because while I am excited for it, I feel like she's being treated like the redheaded stepchild by Disney or Marvel, those people, as well as by the so-called fan. Because, the trailer came out this morning and I'm scrolling. Of course, I follow all these Marvel pages, and there are people just going in and talking about how they're not going to watch it. And one dude was like, who asked for this? Who even asked for this? And I'm like, just because you didn't ask for it doesn't mean that it wasn't asked for. And, at that point, I was tired of fighting it. So I went on and I responded, just because you didn't ask for it
Right.
doesn't mean that it wasn't asked for.
And your mama.
Right.
Right.
But as far as the show being kind of treated that way, it comes out, what is this? This is the middle of May. Show comes out the end of next month. Mm-hmm. This is the first trailer. This is the first real poster we've gotten for it today. It's 6 episodes, and when it gets released, what I read was that they're dropping the first 3 episodes to get at once. So that means we only get 3 more weeks of episodes. And I feel like the show is being treated like a redheaded stepchild. It's giving Moon Girl as well. And what do these 2 properties have in common?
Right.
but they're black girls. You
Yeah.
know, Moon Girl got canceled after 2 seasons. After, even though everything I've heard about it, of course, look at my circle. Everything I've heard about it is positive. We all wanted it to go on. Not only that, when they canceled it, I kind of looked around and to see how it was being treated as a property. There were no Moon Girl toys. There were no Moon Girl clothes. There was nothing else for Moon Girl but that show.
Yeah.
We're getting Ironheart. We get a trailer and a poster a month before the shit's supposed to come out.
Right.
We get 3 episodes dropped at once, so we only get 4 weeks of it. And I mean, it's like I'm taking it personally. As a black female, I am taking it personally. Am I looking forward to it? Absolutely. Will I be watching every single episode? Absolutely. Numerous times, I'm sure. Happy for Ryan Coogler or whatever, but that's not why I was sharing the stuff about it and trying to remind people that it was coming out. It was because here we have another black female protagonist, and she's getting nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
I honestly, to your point, I honestly feel like
that's true.
The only reason there's a little bit of buzz about it now is because
that's Ryan Coogler.
Because Disney's kind of recognizing that Ryan Coogler's a hot commodity right now, and because when that trailer popped up, executive produced Ryan. I was like, okay, y'all didn't think that was worth mentioning before.
Right, it was always the executive producers.
Right, but now you want to put that up front and you want to lead with that. And so it's, and I definitely think, Teresa, I would agree with you that it's, like I said, we are just now kind of hearing the buzz about it. They announced it, but then I hadn't heard anything since the announcement.
Thanks.
And now
I kind of forgot, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this was a show that I was not certain. We had that announcement a while back, but I remember when they announced Armor Wars and they announced this, so much stuff was getting canceled, moved around, dates were getting pushed and pulled. I was just like, well, they said they was going to do it.
Right.
And then it's like, oh, it's next month? Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, it is. There's definitely a way they could have done better in terms of the marketing and advertising. So we'll just have to do what we can to support, and maybe it won't be a, what was that damn show? Werewolf by Night. It won't be just or a Moon Knight or so. One season, one and done, in and out.
I don't even want to talk about Moon Knight, man. I'm still
right. Still in your feelings. Jeff, Ironheart.
Yeah, I mean, you already know I'm here for it. Black, young, coming of age. People trying to get their shit together. Like that's right up my alleyway. I think that hearing you guys' comments on a lot of this stuff is interesting because I noticed a lot of those things, and maybe this is me trying to in some ways give Marvel the benefit of the doubt. But I think that they are taking a different approach to how they promote things because of the way that Marvel quote unquote fans, which I don't think everybody who consumes Marvel entertainment are actually fans of Marvel. I think a lot of these people are here to comment, complain, write their own movies in the comments, pretend to be creatives without actually producing anything, right? So they can sit down and tell you everything that was wrong with Thunderbolts. They can tell you everything that was wrong with everything, but it's like you could never sit down and write or make or create anything yourself.
Right.
I think that part of it was had they put out a trailer 2 months ago, now we got 3 months of people complaining about this and picking stuff apart. When I think about what John Boyega went through, when I think about what, I forget her name, the Asian girl, Rose, I forget her real name, what she went through on Star Wars. When I think about, in some ways, what Haley Steinfeld went through with the complaints. When I think about what Letitia went through with the whole recast T'Challa, and we're just overlooking the fact that we have a black woman playing this mantle, and that is also a win, even though we're having to work around something tragic that happened like in real life. Like you are so focused on what you want, which is like a strong black male Black Panther, that like you completely missing this other thing that's also beneficial for our community and for our storytelling as well. I understand potentially waiting and saying nobody's going to order Disney Plus for Ironheart. I feel like that's a safe bet and that an executive would make. But let's put it out in a way where we're going to hit them quick. We're going to get Ryan Coogler out front. He can be the shield for the project because he is the one that's responsible for bringing her to life in general anyway.
Right.
I also think that the conversation about her not having Tony Stark is interesting because it's a bunch of people who say that they don't care about the character at all, but now you're really up in arms because the story isn't being told right. When what some of them are really mad about is the white man's being left out of the story of the black girl, because the way you read the original story was Iron Man, gave her path and this
Permission.
gave her the blessing and all this stuff like that. And for me, I see this as another Kate Bishop situation. Yes, if I'm a smart little black kid who loves robots and has been building stuff since I was a kid and I've grown up in the world where Iron Man exists, when I get old enough to build stuff, I'm going to build my own Iron Man suit. Like, to me, that's completely logical with or without the blessing of Tony Stark in that world. And I feel like, they didn't go in depth in Black Panther because it was Black Panther. This is not the Riri Williams story. They did a lot. They showed a lot. But now we're going to get to meet this character for who she is in her environment, on her time, see how she handles things with her being the central focus of the movie. That's what I'm fascinated by. That's what I'm interested in. That's what I'm here for. I think there's a lot of, BS going around. We talked about this on Thunderbolts, where I think Marvel is paying a lot of attention to the way that their audience reacts to things. And rather than cowering and like changing their content to make the audience happy, they're doing things, I think, in some ways to protect their content, to protect their actors, and still making the stories and doing the things that they want to do. And the audience and only giving the audience enough time to react and respond to the art. Don't give these motherfuckers 3 months to write. Well, this is what I would do if I was writing the Ironheart story. So if they don't do this,
they go research every tweet Dominique ever put out. Yeah, every tweet Dominique ever put out and be like, well, she said this 10 years ago, and
she
that's
wasn't
why she
nice on the
be.
red carpet to this white man, and so she doesn't want us to watch it. So let's not watch it, white man. It's like, okay, then don't watch it. But I think that this actress, she's very good. I like the work that she did in Wakanda Forever. I'm interested in seeing more. I'm interested in getting to know her before she joins the rest of the young ladies and the other people who we've already met that I think is probably going to be part of Sam's Avengers team. So at the end of the day, I think we are all from a generation and an age group where we're just happy to get comic book stuff. We're not pretending like it's all amazing and it's all great, but I'm so happy we're getting. Yeah, I'm happy we're getting comic book characters on screen. And frankly, the reason why some of these women of color, black women, black men characters are getting pushed through so fast is because they just started making the black comic book characters for us less than 30 years ago. We don't have 100 years of history of all these black comic book characters. Yeah. And if you want the Tony Stark mentorship, go watch the Spider-Man movies, because they poached all that stuff from the Ironheart stories and gave it to Peter Parker, and nobody was complaining that they gave her story to Peter Parker.
Yeah.
So don't be mad now when we're not doing it. Accept it for what it is. Maybe Peter will be like, yeah, Tony was my homeboy and he would love what you're doing, and you can flip your ass on out of here.
Want to take these glasses. Peter would be like, take these glasses. You could do more with them than I could.
I just want to mitigate the complaints. That's all. Because I've already seen it, like Teresa. And it's just like, well, I don't know. If they say something about it, at least acknowledge it. Will that
put the haters to rest? No, I get you. And I
but Jeff is also right. Like, I concede that she doesn't need that, and it shouldn't be her destiny, but
this is why I like talking with y'all about this stuff, because like I get insights and perspectives that I wouldn't have thought of myself, and I can't necessarily have the experience that you're having, Teresa. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, oh, this is a cool ass character. I like what she did, and I can't wait to see. I mean, shit, I'm not gonna lie. I want to see Mephisto on the damn screen. I've been waiting some years to see Mephisto on the screen. So
this motherfucker, this nigga is about $500 short because of
when he finally pops up. I promise it's probably going to be the most random small cameo ever. Just the Easter egg. People who've been waiting on Mephisto.
But you know what I'm saying? But I mean, honestly, it's yeah, these are all such very wonderful, valid points, and they honestly, like everything you just said, Jeff, kind of makes me a little more interested to see it now, because honestly, I'm not gonna lie, I do want to, like, you know what, much like Kate Bishop, she's going to MIT because she was inspired. She was already working on the damn suit in Wakanda Forever.
She had a junkyard Iron Man suit that she built out of like Fred Sanford's truck.
So yeah, I mean, you know, and she need the blessing then, and you know what? She got the blessing from at least one of the top 5 smartest people on the planet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Shuri was like
the blessing that they want her to get from Iron Man, she already got from Shuri. But it's not good enough for some people. And they hide behind the guise of comic accuracy when there's so many inaccurate comic things that have happened in the MCU that we all love and don't have any problems with.
Exactly.
Yeah. Because anybody that didn't have a problem with what was Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio. What? But you have to make it fit into that world and that character. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, I was already looking forward to it. Now I'm like really looking forward to it, because now I want to see how they did this story.
Oh yeah.
Like now I'm really curious to see how they play this out.
Hey buddy, eyes up here.
All right, I got you.
It is time to talk about some Superman, damn it.
All right.
We already look.
I see the I see the teleprompter.
Like Christmas.
Right. I'm gonna settle for 15 minutes, because that was really good.
So I'm tired of waiting.
Right. That was a really good conversation about Riri. Better even so than the Peacemaker. So I'm feeling that, and that was a good one to give some time to. But I can make this short and sweet. Hell yes, thank you. Somebody that actually read a damn comic book, liked the comic book, and did something with that comic book. Personally, I have been talking about the comic book Superman Birthright for quite some time as being one of the best ones. Kingdom Come is my favorite. All-Star Superman is right up there in the top 5, and Superman Birthright is probably number 2. I can see all Superman Birthright on this, and I think just for that, it's going to be fantastic, because it's like a year 1 Superman. So the things that actually worked when we saw The Batman, where it was kind of like he had been out, he'd been doing things for a little while, but we got to kind of see his process and see him grow into this iconic character of Batman. I feel like we're about to get a very similar treatment. So when we don't see that he's supposed to be inspirational, you'll see what it took for him to get there. You'll see, because they did like... And this is funny for me, because this is like the number one conversation as a Superman fan I have to have with people and have to hear. They obviously liked showing Superman getting his ass whooped, because in this trailer, like every other scene, it is Superman getting his ass whooped. And it does this weird thing for the character that is probably going to be the best thing for this character in a long time. James Gunn seems to be making this character all powerful, but not godlike, not unbeatable. So he's going to somehow make this character human and relatable, and the things that people look for and want from Superman that a lot of people who don't like Superman don't like about him. Oh, he's a boring character. He can't beat him. So, I mean, he just like goes in, you punch everything. It looks like he's going to have to do some thought, some soul searching. And this trailer, I was already excited to see the movie. just because we got a new Superman movie coming out. But this trailer actually presents that it may actually be just a damn good movie too. And that makes me really happy as a Superman fan. Floor is open.
I will step in. So as y'all know, I was not a fan of the Man of Steel movies. I wasn't. I didn't feel like that was Superman. We've had this conversation.
Right.
I cried watching this trailer because I was like, this is Superman. And I've missed him because this is Superman. I don't know all about the comics. I don't know anything outside of like the cartoons and the movies, but I know how watching Superman made me feel as a little girl and
Yes.
why I loved that and I loved Christopher Reeve and I just fell in love with the whole ethos of Superman, and this movie brought all of that back. And I know it was like nostalgic and the music and
Yeah.
it feels like Superman in a way that I haven't felt that in a very long time. Not from Man of Steel, not even from Smallville, not from the Lois and Clark. Like it's just kind of every time it's like y'all just aren't hitting whatever that
So
thing
close.
is. It's
Yeah.
not getting hit for me, and this trailer did that. So
Superman
I
and
just
Lois
really
was
can't
the
even
closest,
comprehend how
but
he could
yeah.
fuck this movie up. It makes me
Yeah.
mad the idea that this movie could
Could.
not
Right.
be everything I need it to be. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Mhm.
Oh,
But
why is that fear there? Oh, I was good till you said
right,
that. But
like,
yes,
but the
it's still a
if the
very real
trailer is
possibility.
any indication of what I'm walking, even Lex, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Ooh.
even though that's not my,
Yeah.
my
I
Lex, but
absolutely can see how this man
right,
loses
right.
his
I was
shit.
like, oh, I see you. I'm watching. I watched the trailer multiple times.
Yeah.
And I don't know all the characters or who all the people are. You know what I'm saying? Like I have no idea. There's a dinosaur. I'm like, I'm in. I'm all in. Like I don't sure. We're fighting Bowser. Let's
Fucking
go.
kaiju
Like
fights. Let's go.
just whatever that nostalgia button is in the back. This tweaked it so good, boy. Let me tell you, I got goosebumps.
I remember. I remember.
Birthright.
Right, member berries was
All-Star
activated.
Superman. Superman year one.
Mm.
I feel like this made that movie because everything you're saying, it's all right here.
This nigga is
And-
nothing but cheekbones right now.
Yes.
Spectacular.
Listen,
I love it.
Don't let something
I
you like.
loved when the beginning, the interview, I liked his energy. I liked
Mhm.
him just sitting there. There was a moment when he leaned forward and she was like, well, I'm going to talk to you. And he was like, let's go, Lois. And I was like, wait a minute. Cause it's like, I just watched him become Superman that quick. Like
Yeah.
I'm in there.
It was one of those moments.
I'm
You
in
know
there.
what?
So
I thought I was being stupid when I said that to the wife. I was like, oh, damn, he put on the Superman voice. She was like, what? I was like, look.
Word
And I
though, right?
rewatched. But you could see it. And it was the same thing Christopher Reeve used to do when he would talk like this. And then he'd be like this with Lois. So you're like, oh, shit. Like, but yeah. Yeah.
oh, there.
Activate stoic
Now y'all
mode.
know
Right.
I'm overly excited. So that's my opinion.
Cool.
Mm.
All right. I'm buying your ticket. Done. Teresa,
I
what
am
were your thoughts
so
on Superman?
happy that y'all are happy.
Hey.
Oh.
Art is subjective, bro.
But that touched me, Brandy, when you said, this is Superman again, and you cried during the trailer. It made me feel kind of bad though, because
Cold-blooded.
yeah,
No. What's up?
I don't know if it's like this whole transition of James Gunn, in coming into the DCU, if you will, and redoing things. And there was this kind of a period there when we didn't really get anything except like Aquaman, and we're being told that it's not canon and all this kind of stuff. I don't know if it just soured me or what, but there's something annoying about this whole Superman thing for me.
Mhm.
And whereas so many people are so excited by these trailers, I see them and they just annoy me. I'm not intrigued. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna watch the movies, but I'm
Right.
there. It's not doing it for me.
It's like DC
Do
fatigue.
you feel like they're trying to make you feel something rather than just like putting it out there and you feeling it?
Maybe, but I'm not.
These are these are
I'm not
definitely
getting
manipulative
Superman
ass
from this
trailers.
guy.
Oh, absolutely. Like I said, the music. I was like,
Yeah.
I'm not getting Superman from this guy at all.
okay.
Okay.
I don't know.
But valid, because are you a Man of Steel fan?
No, not really. I mean, I'm a Henry Cavill fan, but I mean, I can see.
I don't know many people who aren't. So
Shit, I'm a Henry Cavill fan.
right. I don't know many people.
I can.
Look,
I'm
I'm
still
no Warhammer with you, dog.
like I'm right. I'm still with the arm cocking, so I get it. Yeah.
because that was real different. That whole Man of Steel era, that was real different. But I just there's something corny to me about this Superman, about this whole thing. Who's the guy, the one with the bowl? Every
Guy
time
Gardner. Nathan
that
Fillion.
just throws me off. Crypto is throwing me off.
Yeah.
I can see it.
Might be some foolishness.
But I'm sensing foolishness. I'm sensing a little not Peacemaker
Foolishness radar.
Right.
but
it's higher than it should be for Superman. You know what? And that's not completely
valid.
Yeah, that's not completely inaccurate. And I think the fact that it's a DCU movie and not a DCEU, because if they would just come out and say that they were rebooting the DCEU, at least we would be clear as to what the hell is going on.
Right.
But they didn't reboot the DCEU. They changed it to the DCU. But this is the same group that said they wanted to be HBO Go, then HBO Now, and then HBO Max, and then Max.
And just Max.
And now they're going back to HBO Max.
Right.
Like, all in all, Warner Brothers just doesn't have...
And we still don't know what Batman...
It's just so much.
Let that go. We're never.
There are 3 Jokers.
It's like there's. So I definitely get what you're saying as far as like how it's something off, and the only consolation, for lack of a better phrase, and actually this is conjecture because I don't work there, so I don't know. But from my comic history and understanding, what I'm going to speculate, let me say that very carefully, I'm going to speculate that this is early in Superman's career, not origin story early, because we're dealing with Superman. So even if
see
they
him die again,
right?
It's
you
like
see
Uncle Ben and the Pearls. We good.
And that's what, like, I don't think we're going to see the Rocket or anything. Like we're past that. Superman is already here. He's already got a costume, and we're there. I think some of the stuff, like the trailer we saw, like a little kid, so we'll get some flashback to explain sometime. But in these stories, like there's some major things that happen, and I would not be shocked if they do those things to kind of mature the character a bit. But I think the initial thing you're getting where you're like, he's just not quite, because he's technically not quite Superman. I think it's Clark wearing an outfit and doing the best he can do, which is more than anyone else can do, and he wants to do good. This Superman movie will probably take us from him being Clark to him becoming definitively Superman, to him being the one who will be out front as the beacon and the best. That's what I'm expecting to see from this. And I think that the little cues that I got in the trailer could easily lead to that. Jeff.
Hold on. Can I just say something? Teresa,
sure.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you.
I'm a hater.
No, Teresa. Let me say something. Teresa said earlier.
He's like, feel the darkness.
Knowing us. Because I'm going to tell you, Teresa told me way back. Teresa told me straight up. She was like, I'm going to go see it. I can't promise I'm going to like it, but I'll go see it. And right now she's like, hasn't got me excited, but I'm still going.
I'm not there yet, but we'll see.
And I think, like, just for those people who are fans of that character, this is a return to form that does have us excited. If you are not already a fan of this character, I will say there's nothing in this trailer to identify what's missing. It's still just the dude with the S on his chest and a cape flying around punching shit.
Right.
That's really all it still is.
I'm
And
a
he's getting ass kicked a lot, which isn't helping the case. So.
I'm a Christopher Reeves Superman fan. And like President Thunderbolt Ross told Sam Wilson, you're no Steve Rogers.
Mm.
This
Christopher
corn
Reeve.
sweat dude is no Christopher Reeve.
Mm.
Nobody
Mm.
is.
And it might take
It's a
the whole
shame.
movie to just to move me over the threshold. It may take the whole movie, but the trailers are not doing it for me.
Okay. No, I as excited as I was, I looked over at my wife and she was like, "So you like this one?" I was like, "You didn't watch damn part." Did you literally? I was like, "Did you literally just fall asleep?"
Mm.
Oh my god! And we kind of got into not really an argument, but I was like, "Obviously you're tired. You need to go upstairs and get to bed." Like I'm not gonna.
My man
How were
using
you asleep
feeling
right
words.
now? Like.
You need to go.
So my wife told me she wanted to get a divorce. She fell asleep during the Superman trailer. Same thing, Same thing.
Okay.
There you
Slap
go.
me right in the mouth.
Right.
Slap me in the face.
Clearly, she doesn't love
She
me
don't love me
anymore.
no more. She don't
Right?
love me.
Jeff,
Irreconcilable differences.
you know what I'm saying? Like, look at this room. If you not feeling that, we got some problems. Like, it's
Great movie. Also, haven't seen that in years. I'm gonna put that on the list. It's a great
There you
movie.
go.
Yeah, I feel
Jeff,
like
what you thinking on
with this
Superman?
trailer, I think that like everybody know, along with my sister Teresa, I'm Marvel through and through, but I have always, checked in on DC here and there growing up, watching cartoons and all that, because I'm a comic book fan first and foremost. I love superheroes, I love lore, stuff like that. Superman was not always my favorite because, like Teresa said, he's corny. He's supposed to be. And I think as I've grown older, I've accepted that. And when we did our therapy episode on Superman, I said that to me, one of the biggest problems with Superman is writers get a hold of him and they don't actually like Superman. And so they try to change him into something that he's not to fit the times. But now I'm not watching a Superman movie or I'm not reading a Superman comic. I'm just reading like what you would do if you had all these powers rather than this character. And the challenge of Superman is Superman stays the same. The times around him change. And now he has to figure out what it means to be him in this world. So when the Christopher Reeves one came out, we're in the middle of the Cold War. We worried about spies and enemies and all that other stuff like that. So when a random white man started flying around, we don't know if you from outer space, Russia, Kansas, whatever you saying, brother, we got to get to the bottom of this. I think this story to me seems interesting because, in the interview, he's basically like, I stopped the war, but everybody's worried about like diplomacy and like, did you do it the right way? Did you go through the proper channels? The government's like, how do we know he's on our side? Lex Luthor is very much like his public facing persona is, what do we do if he decides he's not on our side? But really, he's a hater because he's mad, he's jealous. And they show that in the trailer. And I think even just like even allowing yourself, even allowing the characters to feel and express core human feelings as their motivations versus these larger ideological issues as their motivator is really what I think most of the DC characters are about. And so for me, James Gunn pushing that in the trailer has me more excited because I feel like I'm going to watch a Superman movie made by somebody who actually likes Superman and who actually wants people to see what the character is truly about. And then you can decide whether you like Superman from there. But we're not going to alter the character and make him a murderer in the first movie. And it's all dark and he's sexy and we got to kill him. And he comes back and has no memory and he's fighting the Justice League because, you're not interested in showing Superman just save a little girl, help out some people in a foreign country, show up for court, and then you know what I mean. You're not interested in showing Superman.
He literally is the guy who would save a cat out of a tree.
He's a
with
human.
all his powers.
He's an alien attempting to be human, and the things that show his humanity are the small things. And so, I think that this trailer got me probably more excited to see anything involving Superman than I have like since the Christopher Reeves one, watching those on TBS with my uncle growing up. You know what I mean? Like, I think there still feels like a lot of cameos for one movie.
Yes.
And it still feels like a lot of people. I definitely thought
that. Like, I was like, wait, who is the enemy? There's 14 different villains in this movie and a dinosaur.
and you're showing me a bunch of heroes, but you're showing me a bunch of heroes and no Batman and no Wonder Woman, which to a degree I understand. Maybe it's a secret. Maybe y'all NDAs is better than Marvel NDAs, but you showing me a lot, and it feels like a lot of like. But we got Mr. Terrific, and we got Amazo, and we got this, and it's like, all right, brother. But my whole point has been, but what about Superman? Like, are you getting that right? And I think the interview scene, the conversation, even Lois. Getting Lois right, in my opinion, is also just as important, because Lois is really actually his conduit to how humanity views him. And so she's pressing him in the interview, and she already knows the secret identity. So it's like, all right, so y'all already together, but like she still like I feel like she would make Margot Kidder proud. Versus like whatever Amy Adams was doing. Amy Adams was a fantastic actress, but the way that character was written was not Lois Lane. That was somebody else.
Not Lois, and neither was Rachel McAdams.
Yes, this felt like Lois.
They were like just damsel in distress. Superman.
Yeah,
honestly,
those two. I'm excited to see the movie. Distress. Yeah, I'm excited to see the movie, and it looks like it has its fair share of action. Now, this is the last trailer I'm gonna watch. You're not about to tug my heartstrings all the way up into the theater. You got me. You got my little $15.
I really feel like any other trailer they show past this will ruin something for the movie. Something that's going to be in the movie that's going to be a good moment is going to be wasted in the trailer. And so I'm with you on that.
I agree.
100%. Just wait for Funko Pops.
Right. Not even gonna look at that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
But I do have a whole collection of new ones that I gotta get. RG.
I guess it wouldn't matter. I don't know who half them people are anyway. I was watching one of the reactors, and they were like, "Oh, that's bloodity bloop," and I'm like, "I don't."
Oh no, I'll go through all of it here. No, gladly go through all of it here in just a moment. RG, Superman, new trailer. What you think?
Yeah, it's a Superman movie. So
all right, that's our show, folks. We hope
it's a Superman movie coming out.
You're not gonna do that. You're not gonna do that. No.
No.
Superman movie.
Let me tell you. You know, Teresa gave you a taste. Let me show you how Yoda does it. This is how Yoda hits. Now,
hold on, let me get all distractions off so you can speak. Go ahead.
Now, you know what the thing is? I want to see a good Superman movie.
Right.
Because of the animated series, I know it's possible to write Superman in a compelling and an interesting way that's true to the character, right? So I know that that's possible. I'm a fan of the Christopher Reeve stories, Superman's too, and the way they introed him, and the way, you had him deal with his conflicts. So I know that I know it's possible.
Yeah, that Superman trilogy might be probably still the best Superman.
Well, yeah, but think about it. 3 is fucking terrible, right? Like 3. I'm sorry.
Richard
4 is the one that doesn't
the 80s,
exist.
There was a lot of cocaine. You got to excuse.
No. 4 is the one that doesn't exist.
I understand.
Right.
Like I will quickly watch that.
Oh God, no!
It's still better than anything Zack Snyder did.
That's facts. Thank you. Zack Snyder sucks. I'm so tired of him. Anything he did after 300 is absolute trash. So, fight me. Anyway, back to Superman. I'm gonna see it because I want to see a good representation of Superman. I'm going to see it because I'm hoping it's now that I found out about the matinee and it's $7. Like it's $7. I'm gonna watch it for $7. I'm good.
All right, though.
So
yeah,
you
that's
might
right.
You might find $5 on the street. You're right.
You know, there you go. So I'm gonna see it. But I mean, blinking. The whole blink when you get hit with the can thing is just I'm nitpicking. I was like, come on, man, you didn't feel that shit. Little things like that.
So did you see
that's right.
Did you see in the new trailer it doesn't blink now?
Yes. So, very good, very good. God bless CGI. I'm gonna watch it because I want to believe. Right? I want to believe.
You want the man to get hit with a can for real and not blank.
Thanks.
There you go. You know what I'm saying?
So, you gonna be watching the premieres.
The character is just so.
He gonna be in the audience handing out cans just in case.
Niggas blink too much.
$1.25. It's $1.25 a can.
So let me ask you this then: if you have your, as most of us comic book fans, and as we've all agreed on multiple occasions, we want these projects to be good,
right?
Because every time these projects are good, that means there's a greater likelihood that we will get more of these projects. And the only way to get more is to have them do well, be successful, and be good. Because just having them out there for the sake of having them out there isn't going to do anything for us. So they do actually have to be good. James Gunn is a great writer. He's always been kind of character focused, and he seems to do action pretty well too. Do you feel like this trailer is at least providing you hope that this is a good Superman? Or are you still just going under the pretense that you just hope that it will be?
Nah, I don't know. I mean, he looks like a cornball. His movements are kind of cornballish. So no, I'm not really feeling. He doesn't look like Superman to me at all. I don't feel like they cast the right guy. But Superman is a strong cornball. Like, sorry, but once Cavill played him, I was just like, that's the guy, right? Like, that's the guy, right? So I've already seen the pinnacle. Superman's fucking sexy. What do you want to do?
So hold on.
You want Superman to walk in and all the ladies say, "Ow"?
Did you not watch him in the zoot suits? In the zoot suits?
Here's what we'll do.
Series, he walked in this shit.
No. Check this out. So here's what we'll do.
Yeah, the new guy's cute.
We will.
He ain't Henry Cavill, but who is?
They didn't put his shirtless scene in the trailer like they did for some of these things. Trust me.
Even then,
if you have Henry Cavill, you got to take his shirt off at some point.
He's gonna be glistening in the movie somewhere.
It's just
somewhere in this movie. He's gonna be walking around.
I didn't watch The Witcher for the plot.
He looks like he apologizes a lot. He just has.
That's what Superman does.
Right.
Superman no, he
He's
doesn't.
So shucks, ma'am.
No, he doesn't.
Clark. Well, yeah.
Good golly. Yes, he is.
Yeah, but maybe young Clark Kent. Maybe young Clark Kent apologizes a lot, but Superman don't apologize. Shit, he blow up the damn building and be like, "Look, I stopped the war. I stopped a war." Every Superman has a shit ton of collateral damage and never does a press conference. Like, why are you not sitting there?
What hero has?
I'm really sorry your Mazo came down and blew up half the city, and we destroyed the other half trying to get a Mazo out of here. But I hope a lot of y'all are safe. Because he was tearing them up. He was tearing the Justice League up.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
So with very rare except, you know what? I don't know if you try to bait me right now.
She put his name in it.
No. I feel like everything you just said to try to complain about Superman was like bait. And you was trying to make me pounce on that. Like, well, actually, I'm not feeling what actually it. If this trailer did not make you feel like this was going to be a representation of a good Superman, and you were simply going for the fact that you are hopeful that you will get a good Superman, I will accept and respect that. I hope that we all will be pleasantly surprised by the performance of David Cornsweet.
Really want
and that honestly, the character makes sense because I'm gonna tell you, like, if I just go from comic book logic, if I just use the same suspension of disbelief that allows me to read comics and enjoy these things and believe that people can do the things that they do, I have accepted and always accepted that you have comic artists like Loeb who draw Superman with like bubble muscles. I mean, so ridiculously big and muscular. But then you have comic artists that draw him like Alex Ross, and it's just like, damn, why is he so thick? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like he's big and he's muscular and he's realistic, but it's like, why he looked like a tree? Like he is just so large and round, you know what I'm saying? And then you have your Jim Lee Supermans, you know what I'm saying? You have the Superman during the Byrne run. So every version of Superman is going to have the same level of strength, regardless of how jacked the character is, because he's Superman and he can do those Superman feats. It's that kind of logic that just automatically plays in my head to be like, he looks strong. He ain't got to look the strongest, but he looks strong. He looked like he can, you know, he's Superman. So yeah, he can do that because he's Superman. But I mean, you got to follow Henry Cavill. That's a hard act regardless.
Yeah, because like even my love, Christopher Reeve, even he wasn't super cut up.
Nah.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
So, you know, I think I can understand the following.
He's a freak of nature. You can't compare
this dude
people
got
to
resting
him.
bitch face.
It's not fair.
It's
like comparing people to Chris Thor.
There you go.
Oh, Hemsworth.
You can't compare people to gods.
Yeah. I mean, this Superman has resting bitch face. I'm sorry. It's just.
I mean, he looked a little pissed off.
I want to believe, but this.
If he just saved, let me tell you something.
Right, but
if he just saved the world,
Hollywood check, man. Fucking figure it out.
I don't even know.
See,
fucking do his
okay,
cheeks
let me.
Put some blush on this dude. I don't know. You look like you got a soft chin. I don't know.
That just sounds like
hate. It's very hard to believe
this
Superman can take a punch.
And that's okay.
Superman doesn't have to take a punch.
This is hate. This is hate.
He told y'all before he even said a word.
And that's why. Look, and I even said like I feel like this
at work.
This is
all to me. Hate. So look. This is what I was saying earlier when I feel like a lot of the other adaptations of Superman that we have been seeing are by people who don't actually like Superman. They like Superman's powers, and so then they reconfigure the character to be what they would be if they had the powers. Like Superman is corny. Like Superman is kind of just like, in my opinion, just he comes across like an oaf until he starts like, you know he's like super smart, but he ain't one of them people where when we have like a crazy scientific problem, very rarely are we like, we got to get Superman in here to get on the Bunsen burners and the beakers and, you know, mix up some vials of whatever so that we can solve this chemical problem. You know what I mean? So I think it does come down to sometimes people just don't like Superman. And seeing a true adaptation of him is going to turn a lot of people off because they're going to look at Superman and be like, man, he can do all that and he's just going to be like a cornball. He could be Superman. He could have any woman in the world. He's just going to have plain Jane Lois Lane. Like this, none of this, you know, if I was, and it's like, but this is the point of the character. The point of the character is to get everyone to examine who and what you would be if you had seemingly infinite power. Like, it's basically Spider-Man. Absolute power corrupts absolutely. With great power comes great responsibility, right? But Superman doesn't have like a in-your-face mantra like that because we're not dealing with a 14-year-old little boy. A lot of times we're dealing with a grown man who has to make the decision. Like, I could just smack your head off your body right now for talking to me crazy. But you know what, man, who hit me in the head with a piece of with a corn can? I'm gonna just keep walking. Because if I turn around and do that,
and throw your truck into some power lines.
Not only that, but you also have to. They very specifically gave him the upbringing that they gave him. He grew up on a farm in, Nowheresville, Kansas. Ma and Pa raised him with good old fashioned 1950s values. You know what I'm saying? This is a man, and now he's in the big city. And of course, there's corruption and all of this, but this is a man who, oh, ma'am, you dropped your $20. Oh, pardon me. Like, oh, let me get the door for you. Like, that's
Right.
you. He is corny. Like, he's supposed to be like that. That was my problem with the Man of Steel movies because I was like, as much as I enjoy shirtless or submerged in water Henry Cavill, I don't even know what that scene was why, but I wasn't mad about it. The point is, that is Superman. Like,
and he's supposed to be getting
Batman
street
is
smart. That's the whole
Batman
thing.
is cynical.
Yeah.
Batman
Yeah.
is brooding and sexy. Superman is not that. Even if you watch the cartoon, like if you watch Justice League, he's not.
Saying
He's
you
a
don't want
stoic
Superman-
cornball.
say-
He's a very
saying you
stoic,
don't-
strong cornball.
Saying you don't want Superman to be corny is like saying you want Batman to be emotionally well adjusted. Like, you don't want Batman.
But
Batman.
no,
just want a rich
understand. I'm
I
not
don't need
necessarily
healthy
talking
Batman.
about how he is like as a person. Like his actions can be corny, but Superman just doesn't look corny. Like it's not that this dude looks corny as Clark Kent. You look corny as Superman. You look corny throwing a punch. You look corny flying. Like his face is terrible. But
Oh, now I like the flying. I like how fast they had
It is
him.
hate,
I like
Jeff.
the scene when
pure
he was
hate,
like,
Jeff.
"Hey, eyes up here," and then he took off, and I was like, "Oh, he's zooming."
Man,
I like a zoom.
your hand,
It's just hate.
RG hands gonna fall asleep in the theater because his arms gonna be crossed so tight, ain't gonna be no blood flowing to him.
And he's gonna be wearing Timbs.
Just
20 balloons.
We don't have on a Carhartt
he's
jacket.
corny.
I typically
Nah, it
accept
might
the
be
things
too
that
hot when
RG
this shit
says
come out.
under hate because usually he has hate with a justifiable point. In this case, what I'm recognizing here, and like I said, you almost got me.
Yeah.
You was throwing out enough bait. I almost bit. I was like getting over here real tight, and then I was like, you know what? He's fucking with me right now. Calm down.
There you go.
and so like, okay, I'm good again. But because I realized that like you really don't have a problem with anything you saw. Like the comments you're making, it got nothing to do with this movie. You're
Exactly.
basically saying you don't like this trailer because
You hate
you
his
don't like the
face.
way this
I
actor
don't like
looks.
that nigga. I don't like that nigga right there.
You don't like the way he looks. So this
Son,
movie, I'm
That's
not gonna
what
go
it is.
see
There
it.
you go.
RG
But I'm
Luther.
gonna go see it, right?
So
You know?
like, okay, got it.
On
All right.
sight. Be
Yeah.
like,
grass was too green.
you're not a
Man,
good
what were they
Superman.
doing? Making Superman? It's all colorful and shit. Like, yeah, that's
Kissing
you know,
Lois.
right. Underwear on the
Nigga
outside.
Dave,
No.
this nigga.
Okay.
We'll see about
Like,
that.
wait a minute, that's-
But people
So
seem to
you-
be excited about the dog, so I can't call it.
Crypto's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Meh.
I'm
I'm
not an
looking
animal
I'm looking
person.
forward to them explaining the crypto.
You said you're not an animal person.
No.
I'm just saying,
Yeah,
like,
again,
that
it's a
is
lot of
little,
cameos.
Like, did we need the dog? But the dog may be something special. I don't.
In general, just in the general lore of Superman, Crypto, like I'm saying, it's just, you know, like, oh, that's cool. It's the Easter egg that
It's
looks like it's
official.
going to stick through the whole thing. Like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Hey, I ended up loving the dog in Guardians of the Galaxy. What was her name? What's her name? The dog.
Astro,
wait,
not
Astro.
Astro.
Cosmo.
Cosmo, yeah.
Right, right. Like, so that could have been super cheesy, and it was kind of dopey, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Who doesn't love
I think
Howard?
they're going about it the right way. Brandy, for you, these are some of the characters that I can tell you I did see that I was able to call out and recognize. We have Sean Gunn as Max Lord. We have the young girl who Dina from The Last of Us is actually Hawk Girl.
Oh, okay. I like
Nathan,
her. I don't
Mr.
know her
Nathan
too much, but I
Fillion.
like her.
Nathan Fillion is Guy Gardner. We have Mr. Terrific. We have characters from The Authority, and apparently The Authority is going to still be getting their movie. There's some dope ass characters in The Authority.
Ooh,
Apollo
really?
and Midnighter. Yes.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
Nah, don't get excited. You don't like it.
Nah, they don't look like a bitch.
My head
And
is taking me to a different direction I didn't anticipate.
I'm good with them dudes. I rock with that squad there. Authorities.
so the female lady that was throwing the blades and whatnot, she's the engineer. She is basically like a blend of nanotech and human consciousness. She's
This
super
is the
smart
one with the saws on her
right.
hands. Okay.
So she can alter her body. Like think of like Tony Stark's last suit that was all nanotech. So if he needed a spike or a hammer or a shield, whatever he needed, the suit could make. She's that, but she is more human and doesn't wear an exosuit.
Okay.
That's the engineer. All reports indicate just from the image, the big dude in the black outfit with the helmet on, and the big U on his chest,
Ultraman.
that has always been Ultraman. That symbol has always been the character Ultraman, which of course is interesting because that is a Superman from another dimension. It's like Earth 5 Superman type thing. It feels a little early.
Scaring me.
Wait.
That's a lot going on already.
No, because what you can see here is they are apparently working together. What I'm looking at, what I see in this trailer, and this is nothing to be scared of because it's just one of those things that is. And of course, like from watching anime, I accept these things. They're just, it is what it is. This is a world where superheroes exist.
Right.
Simple as that. So when you look at it from a standpoint of like, oh, it's a lot of people in this movie, it's because they're in a world where these people exist. All the other versions that we've seen, there's only been one or two. Man of Steel, he was the only person that had powers the entire movie. And then we see these other Kryptonians who show up and they can do what he can do. Yeah. So now there's more people that can do, you see what I'm saying? So it's very limited to just those people. When we get to Batman v Superman, Batman has no powers. And the only other hero we've seen was that Batman. Then we get the little file, on his computer and he opens it up and, oh, here's other people with powers. But it's just them. It's not like there's a lot of people out there. And in Justice League and Justice League Unlimited and a lot of the other, Teen Titans, and Young Justice, in all of these shows, you have metahumans, you have humans, you have aliens, you have a world where all of these people exist. And so in my head, it's even something as crazy as Black Adam, heroes existed. They had Tornado, they had the guy that could get real tall, they had Hawkman, they had these people exist and they were established already. They had been on missions for years. Wow. We're coming into this world with Superman where heroes exist. So if we don't show any and it's just him, then it's kind of weird that he's the only one. Jeff.
Right.
I agree with you on a lot of that. I still feel like it's a lot. I still feel like the strange thing I think is that it seems as though the story feels like it's about, and this is not a comment asking for clarification on the story because I don't want to know nothing about the story before I go in, but it feels like the story is very much about, we ain't never seen nothing like this before, and what do we do about like wrangling his power or keeping him on our side or making sure that his actions are Superman's one of his biggest things has always been like he's an independent force. He doesn't work for the US government. He's not a hitman for hire. He works for, truth and justice and a brighter tomorrow. Is that it? That's the new one?
American Way.
So
no, they changed that.
Oh yeah, they better not do no American Way shit.
Oh,
so,
I didn't know.
So
I wouldn't go see it.
So I think that it's fascinating that we live in a world where all these heroes exist, but it seems as though Superman doesn't understand, or nobody, either Superman doesn't understand the parameters in which he is being required to work in, and he's just subverting those, which doesn't feel very Superman-esque, or heroes exist, or it's the wild west.
Turn blue.
So I could be wrong about all of that, and I hope that the movie explains it to me. But I think that from watching the trailer, that's why it feels confusing. Because in the trailer, on one hand, it feels very much like Superman's going on trial because he did something he wasn't supposed to do. And Lois is interviewing him and she's pressing him because he did something he wasn't supposed to do. But we got 75 other heroes already in this movie that are they all on trial? Or they knew what to do, and then Superman was like, F this, like y'all ain't doing enough. I'ma just, put my big red boot in everybody's butt to fix this, and now I have to deal with these consequences of that. That could be interesting. All of it could be interesting. But I do feel like, what Brandy and I are kind of saying about the amount of characters, not just people, but like characters, and I don't even mean like characters like, oh, this is their origin story too, even though we already have Superman. It's like, nah, everybody got costumes, everybody know what they're doing. People not shells, like people seem to have been battle tested already. Like, so we are definitely in a world with heroes. And Superman's the new guy. That's interesting, but it's not anything that I personally have ever seen before. So I'm fascinated by how they're actually going to approach that, because to me, you have to stick that landing of Superman as the new guy in the world with experienced heroes.
All these other people, yeah.
Right.
Because I'm like, why is Lex jealous of Superman? Is it just because he's Superman? Because there's other heroes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think there's a lot of interesting hypotheses.
He said it in the trailer.
Did he lock all of them up and Superman released them when he needed help with whatever people was coming from the spaceship and the dinosaur? There was a dinosaur.
I don't know.
It was a dinosaur.
That honestly,
and it looked like Bowser. It didn't look like a regular
kaiju. That's a kaiju. They needed to give Superman something large and big to punch and hit hard because they have to showcase some of his powers. Damn it. And having him punch a big ass dinosaur, he can kind of go ham.
Can they justify everything in the trailer?
I'm sure it'll all
good writing can justify everything in the trailer.
Absolutely.
I'm hoping
that
we hope it can justify everything in the trailer.
Jeff was very clear in that he did not want an explanation, but let me say that I feel like I could explain everything you asked.
Well, let's hope James Gunn can.
Yes. You can explain everything. That's what I'm saying. You can explain everything with the comic books,
and I'm saying,
but it'll go back to our conversation about Black Man v Superman. Is that going to be in the movie, or am I going to be filling in cracks with reading over the summer?
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Okay. Now I understand.
So here's
this thing.
Oh, I was supposed to read the chapter before I came.
Well, let me present something that you've seen, so it's not me spoiling it. It's just me pointing out something you've seen.
Okay.
In the Peacemaker trailer, who were the people sitting in the room? Hawk Girl and Guy Gardner, Green Lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And then we know that there's Mr. Terrific. Have you seen the outfits that the three of them are wearing?
Yeah. Not
Notice
in
any
detail.
similarities? Notice any similarities? What color?
Black and white.
Holy shit.
Did the three of them seem to have like a matching color scheme? We know at least two of those people work together. Without going into like very specifics, think about it. We know that two of those people worked together because they were sitting with Maxwell Lord interviewing Peacemaker to see if he was going to join the team. Then we see Mr. Terrific, who looks like he also has a matching uniform. So it sounds like the three of them may be on a team already. And as you pointed out, if Superman is an independent contractor, I feel like what the trailer shows explains that it's there. And it wouldn't be very hard to show that, and none of that is specific to the books I picked up. So, I mean, like you said, it would be interesting if there is an established team and Superman's a new guy, because he's always been one of the founding members. So for him not to be a founding member of any major group is interesting. It is unique, but that would also be like, what group is this? So there's still a couple of questions and things that
the Justice Society
do need explanation, and that could
we'll see.
Right, like that could be where we get our future movies
for $7 and some Dollar Tree candy. I'm gonna.
All right,
you gotta get the popcorn if you're only paying $7.
I will get one popcorn, but I'm bringing in the goobers from Dollar Tree.
I mean, however you want to do it, just go see the movie.
Right.
That's. We're going to see the movie. We're going to have a great time talking about it. I will probably try to
When
let all the
is
people
it?
that
When does this come out?
Awesome.
July.
Fingers crossed,
July.
hands
15.
folded. Fingers crossed, hands folded.
So
Oh, July is gonna be hot as hell in Atlanta.
Yep.
Atlanta hot now.
yeah,
Yep.
It's
it
warming
is.
up.
It is already warm. Like, look, y'all see a little bit of glistening right there. But I think that was just RG was pissing me off, and I was getting a little frustrated over here. So he's
You see
succeeded,
the steam,
Right,
steam
like, you
coming
know
out
what?
of his ears.
Excuse me 1 second. My horns.
so I was like,
are
you know what?
Sticking out.
You know what? I was like, oh damn, he almost got me because I was about to say, actually, Superman. No,
Woo!
not because you don't like the way the dude look. That ain't.
That's for
I've
the
heard.
post
I've heard
show.
you.
That's
I've
for the
heard
post
you
show. So all
have-
our Patreon.
Man.
Boy,
So
some
look,
Sam
I want to
Pierce
thank
me
you
out.
guys. I want to thank you guys for actually being on this tonight with me. These trailers, I was excited for all three of these, and now there's just like a little bit more passion behind my viewing of these because there's just being able to talk about this stuff with you all. I get insights, I get to see perspectives that I don't necessarily have. I can take off my rose-colored glasses sometimes and hear truth bombs about things that are good, that are bad, where they might have messed up on this and where they did good on something, or give me a perspective that I just don't have. And so it's always so helpful to talk with you guys, and I enjoy it immensely. So thank you for being here with me tonight as we talked about trailers, all these wonderful trailers. We had a chance to talk about Superman trailer. We talked about Ironheart and season 2 of Peacemaker. We ask that you like and subscribe to the channel. It does help us out a lot, and we really appreciate it. It goes a long way to help get us out there. If you want to go on a wild hair and share the channel, we won't complain about that either. We hope you've enjoyed this. For Teresa, RG, Brandy, Jeffrey, I'm Elder Geek Sam, and we are out of here. Peace.